Good day, everyone. This is Gerald Augustine, and today I'll be sharing with you this case study on the environmental management program of my chosen company as part of our requirement in MENV 251-5, also known as the Environmental Management and Policies. Here is the topic outline of the presentation that I'll be sharing with you today. First, I'll be sharing with you the rationale or the background of the environmental management program of the company that I have chosen. Second are the components of the company's environmental management program. Third are the strategies and approach used. Lastly, just a little bit of conclusion just to wrap things up. Okay. Now I present to you Ecolab. Ecolab is considered to be a global sustainability leader of offering WASH or WASH, water, sanitation and hygiene preventive solutions and services that protect the people or the customers or the industries that they serve and the resources, be it natural or not, that are vital to life. Its environmental management program actually falls under the ESG initiatives of the company or the environmental, social, and governance initiatives, which actually lean towards sustainability in the workplace. It has actually been working for 100 years now. They are celebrating their century-old anniversary this year, 2023. And these impacts that you can see on your screen are just positive affirmations that Ecolab is really doing its part, especially when it comes to environmental management. So as you can see, there are 215 billion gallons of water being conserved, 3.6 million metric tons of carbon dioxide or emitted carbon dioxide avoided, 1.4 billion people safety fed with high quality food, and 60 billion hands cleaned. Water is one of the basic necessities of life here on Earth. With the exacerbation of climate change due to rapid urbanization and industrialization, um, environmental problems arise which alter our way of life. According to the IPCC or the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, droughts will most likely to get worse, that it will increase fivefold by 2050. Also, as we may know, 96.5% of Earth's water is ocean, with only 2.5% of it is fresh water. And about 70% of Earth's freshwater is found in ice caps, glaciers, and snow. That's why we are really in need of providing solutions, be it management or technological solutions, in order to provide alternative ways or routes on how to acquire fresh water or generally clean water for the people. Also, the Resources Institute, or the WRI, projects that under a business as usual scenario, the world will face a 56% freshwater deficit by 2030, placing urgent pressure on businesses to rethink the way water resources are managed. Ecolab has always been committed to its environmental management programs, especially to provide maximum social impact without putting the environment at stake. They are working with nearly 3 million customer locations throughout the world to solve operational challenges, reduce environmental impact, and protect brands. They are actually delivering comprehensive science-based solutions, which we know are um, efficient and really effective. Also, data-driven insights and world-class services to advance food safety, help maintain clean and safe environments, optimize water and energy use, and improve operational efficiencies and sustainability for customers in more than 170 countries around the world. So you can see as you can see on your screen, those are the industries that they serve. So here in the Philippines, they have their head offices and marketing hubs, particularly sales and distribution lines located in Muntinlupa, also in Laguna and in Cebu. Now, I would like to highlight one of the environmental management programs of Ecolab, which is water stewardship. Ecolab is a proud member of the Alliance of Water Stewardship, which is a governing organization when it comes to management of water use and reuse of various companies around the world. So, I mean, what you can see on your screen is the framework made by the Alliance of Water Stewardship, which is being followed by the companies who are part of it. So first is to gather and understand. So of course, we need to identify the incoming problems and challenges, and from there, uh, provide the plans on how to mitigate those problems. But yeah, no, the step one has something to do with providing baseline data. Okay. Number two is commit and plan. Of course, it is important for you to visualize your end goals, identify your vision and mission so that um, you are guided or you are motivated by it so that you can implement, do actions, and eventually succeed on your environmental management program. Number three is to implement. I think implementation is one of the most challenging parts of it, part of the water stewardship plan, um, because there are these controllable and uncontrollable aspects within and beyond the scope of your environmental management program. But yeah, um, you just have to stick with your plan and uh, yeah, you just have to stick on with your plan. Number four is to evaluate. Evaluate is also an important part of a management plan. You know, you need to identify the performance of your program against your plan. So you have to check if the metrics are met or if the KPIs or the key performance indices are being met. And lastly is communicate and disclose. This is something to do also with reporting. So of course you need to report the progress or um, the results of your environmental management program, which is a requirement from this framework, and it could also help on advancing water stewardship when it comes to research and studies related to it. By definition, water stewardship is the use of water in a way that is socially equitable, environmentally sustainable, and economically beneficial. So, technically, it is the management of use and reuse of water. And it is said that good stewards of water understand and implement those aspects that you can see on the right side. First is good water governance. So it has something to do with the policies, with the laws, regulations, guidelines when it comes to the usage of water. Second is sustainable water balance. It is important to understand and to identify how much water are being fed in your entire process of the company and how much water are being discharged. Third is good water quality status. Fourth is important water related areas. And last one would be the safe water sanitation and hygiene for all, or WASH, which could be providing advocacies and education or the WASH education for the customers on or the industries that the company serve. Now we move on to the components and approach used by Ecolab for their water stewardship management program. Ecolab has always been committed to its vision. It's about relying or providing tangible actions to contribute for a water resilient future. Vision has something to do with uh, providing your end goals. It's about visioning the products of your program. And the Ecolab plans to first, reduce water impact by 40% per unit production across their enterprise from the 2018 base year. Second is to restore greater than 50% of their absolute water withdrawal volume at high-risk sites. And third, achieve Alliance for Water Stewardship Standard certification in high-risk watersheds. And so these items listed here are their metrics for evaluation or the KPIs, the key performance indices, so that they be able to evaluate the effectiveness of their programs or their environmental management programs. Ecolab is committed to upholding the principles of water stewardship within its own operations in alignment with the Alliance for Water Stewardship standards. That is, first, upholding good water governance. Second, achieving a sustainable water balance. Third is maintaining good water quality status. Fourth is protecting or restoring important water-related areas. And fifth, providing safe water, sanitation, and hygiene for all. And so these are the components that I have researched through their website. So these involves the scope, compliance, reporting, and responsibility. All right, so first is scope. Ecolab actively seek to improve the use and discharge of water resources within its own operations and within the watersheds that they operate. Ecolab has its unique business strategy that allows them to identify innovative opportunities to further their impact through the solutions that they deliver to the customers, enabling clean water, safe food, and healthy environment around the world. Next is responsibility. It is important that there is a specific group of employees that work on the project planning and implementation of a specific environmental program. Now, for Ecolab, they have their corporate sustainability department who is responsible for the implementation of their water stewardship position. Next is compliance. Ecolab is committed to compliance with all legal, regulatory, customer, and other local requirements applicable, especially that they are targeting to uh, achieve the AWS or the Alliance for Water Stewardship Standards. And also they uh, follow various environmental standards. Lastly, reporting. Ecolab is committed to continue to provide transparent public reporting of their sustainability metrics and progress against their goals and targets. And they will continue their commitment, of course, to have annual third-party auditing of their greenhouse gas emissions and water withdrawal inventory, which is actually great. Given Ecolab's dependence on water access and its impact on water resources in areas which they operate, Ecolab recognizes its responsibility to practice good water management and support the sustainability of freshwater resources. Ecolab has its robust water stewardship strategy that allows companies, including its own company, to manage risk, build resilience, and create business value. Practicing water stewardship enables Ecolab to put plans in place to be more resilient from extreme weather-related events and other climate-related challenges. Through management of its own operations, engagement in local watersheds, and working with customers and strategic suppliers, Ecolab is committed to applying the following strategies and approaches across its global footprint. And so I have identified three major uh, classifications or types of strategies that Ecolab uses. First is environmental education and training. I would always believe that every environmental management program should start with educating its own group and, of course, the customers and the providers that they serve, in order to, somehow change or enhance the perception when it comes to environmental concerns. Second classification would be resource management. Now, these involves not only the raw materials or the raw materials that the company uses during its operations, but also I would identify human resource as one of the most important resources that a company should manage. And the third classification would be environmental impact evaluation, which also is an important aspect in every environmental program in order for you to identify if or recognize if the desired outputs are being met. All right, now under environmental education and training, first, Ecolab commits to understanding the role of water within its operations, the watersheds in which they operate, and their customers' operations and watersheds, and understand the short and long-term risks and opportunities that arise from the water in and out. Second is approach water stewardship at the local level, focused on shared water challenges involving availability, quality, and access. This actually includes assessing water risks in their value chain at the local level through the implementation of the Alliance for Water Stewardship Standards. Now, it is really important for a company to focus on the local level, meaning to meet the standards of their very customers. When I say very customers, I mean the roots of the customers, that the company must understand the needs of the company, I mean the needs of the customers, um, where they are coming from, so that the company can really provide sustainable solutions, not just surface level solution, but rather those solutions that will truly help the customers with their needs. Next is resource management. Now, I've mentioned that Ecolab not only manage the tangible materials or the raw materials that they use for their entire operations, but also they utilize humans as as important resources that they manage. So first is to engage directly and proactively with policymakers to bring their market segment and scientific expertise to the table on energy, water, waste, food safety, and customer health issues that may be impacted by shared water challenges. Also, they collaborate and engage with customers to reduce environmental and water-related risks and impacts of daily operations and products. Ecolab is actually committed to using their technologies and expertise to conserve 300 billion gallons of water annually by 2030 by reducing water withdrawal in their customer operations as well as in their own operations. Also, another thing on communication is that they participate in local collective action groups, particularly in high-risk watersheds, to drive meaningful progress at the local watershed level. Now, from this, we identify communication as a key or a as a key part or a vital part in um, achieving success of the environmental management program. As they say, communication is the key, 'di ba? In every kind of relationship. And in environmental management, we need to communicate. The first are the challenges that we encounter. We need to communicate the results of or the products of the efforts that we have exerted. And from there, we can really identify and provide meaningful progress and also to promote continuous improvement. And lastly is to minimize pollutants going to stormwater and wastewater by inspecting or testing prior to offsite discharge, maintain compliance with region or local stormwater and wastewater permit requirements or where no local requirements exist, maintains company standards for discharge. Lastly is environmental impact evaluation. Locally, we know this as environmental impact assessment, which is a legal statute or a mandatory requirement by um, governing bodies such as DENR. Now, Ecolab commits to perform regular climate risk analysis and preparedness planning, especially on extreme weather conditions and with global warming scenarios. We know that climate change the exacerbation of climate change affects the water resources, and Ecolab mainly relies on water as its main component. So Ecolab really is affected by climate change. Next is implement change within the operations to continually ensure everything is within compliance. This is something to do with continuous improvement. Continuous improvement helps the company to identify opportunities for work process enhancements and reduce waste. This also involves the PDCA cycle, which companies normally follow. The PDCA means plan, do, check, act. Okay, and also analysis such as root cause analyses to identify the root causes of the problems and draw concrete solutions from there. I would also like to mention a risk assessment or the environmental risk assessment, which is an important aspect of of environmental impact assessment, in which we identify the potential hazards and analyze its effects on the environment. So yeah, Ecolab has it all, as we can see here. Now, to wrap this discussion up, first we can say that environmental management is a long-term plan of action for resolving problems of natural environment, considering these particular functions and activities of organizations in order to improve the quality of nature and its components. That the realization of environmental strategies bring the most desired effects when it is being used for a long period of time. Therefore, it is necessary to realize it regularly and most importantly, constantly. Okay? And lastly, we can say that Ecolab upholds its commitment to water stewardship through their strategies and approaches used, categorized as environmental education and training, resource management, and environmental impact evaluation. So we can say that Ecolab has always been true to its mission and vision of being a global sustainability leader when it comes to um, upholding water stewardship as part of its environmental management program. This has been Shed. Thank you very much for listening, and may you have a great day. Carpe diem.